All right, family, greetings. Welcome to another edition of Baba TV Every Time Fire. It's my absolute privilege to be in the company of one of the members of the
Party for Socialism and Liberation.
Thank you for the correction, Brother
Not a
Lucas. Why do you think Donald Trump kidnapped Maduro?
I think it's ultimately because of imperialism. You know, the U.S.'s history of imperialism and violence for oil, natural resources, raw materials. I think they use, this dictator narrative through U.S. State Department propaganda to justify violence committed against foreign countries, including Maduro, to justify the extortion of Venezuela for its oil. If you go back in history and look at in the last Trump administration, the sanctions that were placed on Venezuela by the previous Trump administration devastated the people of the country and impoverished many. And that's why many people had to leave Venezuela at that time. And these people are being still impacted to this day. But ultimately, the current capturing of Maduro is due to oil and natural resources because the Trump administration knows that Venezuela has one of the largest oil reserves in the entire world. And the U.S. is always hungry for more oil. No matter where it is or how they will get it, they will do what they can to get it. And that is just what U.S. imperialism is and has always been.
Oh, beautiful. And the other question is, why is it that the U.S. is trying to collapse Cuban oil with tariff threats?
Ultimately, I think that the U.S. for 60 or more years, almost going on 100 years, has tried to destabilize Cuba through economic sanctions, invasions, all sorts of different things. And they use that because they want to disprove that socialism does work, because we've seen socialism work and it was successful and is successful in Cuba after the Cuban Revolution. Fidel Castro created a completely free healthcare system, education system. The majority of people living in Cuba prior to the Cuban Revolution were not literate, and he went on a massive campaign to educate people to become literate, to raise the population out of poverty, and that was successful. And the U.S. government continually wants to show that that is not successful and that socialism is not possible, and it is. And this continued attack on Cuba is to just further push that point and to try and make people think that socialism doesn't work. And I think that's the biggest reason why, because they want to show that any antithesis to capitalism and the capitalist system is not possible, when in reality it is. And it has to be manufactured by the people as a working class movement to push for a better world for us to all live in.
Why does the U.S. promote China as a threat while remaining so overly interested in trade with them?
Because the United States wants to always find an enemy to maintain their world power. The United States has been the world power since World War II, and we are seeing that shift in the world power. You see at these conferences like Marco Rubio had just spoken at the conference in Munich, talking about how we need to protect the United States against China because they're worried that they will no longer be the world power and have control of European countries or these other countries. The new Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, made a really good statement a few weeks ago. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but he's saying that there's a shift that's happening in the world and there's a new world power coming about. And although China may still be a partially capitalist country, it does have aspects of socialism within the country, and they do call themselves the Communist Party of China. And the U.S. is afraid that the working class people of this world will wake up to the fact that capitalism is known to destroy, kill, all for profit. No matter how, why, where, or when, they will kill for profit. And they know that China will not allow that to continue to happen in the future, and that U.S. hegemony of the world soon will end.
Well, Lucas, thank you for giving me a little bit of your time, sir.
Yes, thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it.